Hi store owners! Today, I'm walking you through every setting in WooCommerce Wholesale Quotes, what each one does, and what you'd typically leave on or change. To get here on my store, I go to Wholesale, then Settings, and click the Wholesale Quotes tab. Down the left, you'll see 5 sub-tabs: General, New Quote Page, Guest Quote, Quote Button Placement and Styles, and Notifications, and we're going to go through each one. Starting with the General tab. The first section is General Settings. It controls the core quote behavior. Enable Cart to Quote is on by default, which is what puts the Request a Quote button in the cart. Allow multiple quotes lets customers submit new quotes even if they've got pending ones. Out-of-stock product handling controls whether out-of-stock items get back-ordered, excluded, or flagged when a quote converts to an order. Quote expiration days, I've got mine set to 30, so customers have a month to accept an approved quote. Show retail prices in quote is handy if you want your wholesale customers to see the regular price alongside their wholesale price. And you can set a minimum quote amount or cap the number of line items if you need those guardrails. Scrolling down in the same General tab, there's a Message Settings section. This controls the built-in messaging thread between me and my customers on each quote. I keep it enabled. It's a great way to negotiate or clarify details without going back to email. Messages per hour is a rate limit. 10 is the default, which is plenty. The last 2 options let you decide whether customers can still send messages after a quote has been converted or after it's been declined. I leave both off, but if you want to keep that conversation open, toggle them on. Next is the New Quote Page tab. This is where I tell the plugin which WordPress pages to use for the quote experience. The New Quote Page is where customers build and submit their quote. The View Quote Page is where they come back to check the status later. I just point these to the pages I have already created on my site. Below that, Action, after adding product, lets you choose whether clicking Add to Quote redirects the customer straight to the quote page or just shows a notice so they can keep browsing. I prefer the redirect. Still on the New Quote Page tab, the Counter Widget section. This is the floating badge that shows customers how many items are in their current quote request. I keep it enabled and positioned in the top right corner. Mini Cart Counter Placement lets you slot it next to your cart icon in the header if your theme supports that. And if you enable the drop-down widget, customers can hover over that counter badge to see a mini preview of their quote. Really useful, so they don't have to navigate away to check what's in it. A little further down is Toast Notification Settings. These are the small pop-up messages that appear when a customer adds or removes a product from their quote. I've got them enabled and set to 3000 milliseconds, so the toast shows for 3 seconds. You can extend that up to 10 seconds if you want it to linger a bit longer on screen. The last section on the New Quote Page tab is Address Collection. By default, this is disabled. Quotes don't need a shipping address to be submitted. If you turn it on, billing and shipping address fields appear on the quote form, and you can make each one required or optional. I find this useful when I want delivery details captured up front, so I can factor in freight costs when I send back the approved quote. The Guest Quote tab controls whether visitors who aren't logged in can submit quotes. It's off by default. When you enable it, you can show a login or create account nudge to encourage guests to register. You also set a guest quote limit, how many quotes one guest can submit within a rolling period, and pick a default wholesale role so the plugin shows them the right pricing even without an account. This is great for capturing leads from new wholesale prospects who haven't signed up yet. Now for the Quote Button Placement and Styles tab, this is where you control how the Add to Quote button looks and where it appears. First, the global button label. Mine is Add to Quote, and the Remove label for when the product is already in a quote. On the product page, you choose exactly where the button sits relative to the Add to Cart button or the product title. Then pick a visual style. There are 10 style options ranging from a simple text link to solid icon buttons with pill shapes. I'm using solid icon and text, which gives it a solid presence next to the cart button. Now for the Quote Button Placement and Styles tab, This is where you control how the Add to Quote button looks and where it appears. First, the global button label. Mine is Add to Quote, and the remove label for when the product is already in a quote. On the product page, you choose exactly where the button sits relative to the Add to Cart button or the product title. Then pick a visual style. There are 10 style options ranging from a simple text link to solid icon buttons with pill shapes. I'm using solid icon and text, which gives it a solid presence next to the cart button. The last section on this tab is the cart page button, the main call to action that submits the whole cart as a quote. The label defaults to request a quote, and you can change it to whatever fits your store. Placement options are after the cart table, before the totals, or after the checkout button. There's also a toggle to automatically clear the cart after submission. I have that enabled, since once the cart's been sent as a quote, there's no need to keep it sitting there. The last tab is Notifications. This is where I turn individual quote emails on or off. There's one for each life cycle event. Quotes submitted, approved, declined, expired, converted to order, and the 2 messaging emails. All are on by default, which is what I'd recommend leaving them at. The admin email recipient field at the bottom is where new quote notifications land. It defaults to your WordPress admin email, but you can add multiple addresses separated by commas. And if you want to customize the actual email content, head to WooCommerce, then Settings, then Emails. And that covers every setting in the Wholesale Quotes plugin. Whether you're tweaking the quote button style, opening up guest submissions, or fine-tuning your email notifications, it's all right here in one place under Wholesale, Settings, Wholesale Quotes. I'll link the full documentation below if you want to go deeper. Drop any questions in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.